Welcome to Make Something Small. I'm Christina, and this is my journey in pattern design, illustration, and lettering. This week, I'm finishing the art and first steps in creating a new calendar based on the Winter Without Snow theme. This calendar will be in a vertical format instead of horizontal like my last calendar, and I'll be using Gelato instead of Printify as the print partner. This video includes the first steps in getting the images ready to upload to Gelato. If you followed along with the illustrations, you'll see that they are different than before. I decided to change the lettering and went with a simple print instead of the script I was doing. I also changed some images by adding textures, adding or removing elements, and changing some colors. Once I finished the illustrations, I exported them from Procreate as a JPEG. Gelato offers 4 calendar sizes: 5.5 by 16.5, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 8.5, and 11 by 16.5. The 11 by 16.5 is the size I'll be using. They offer a template to download on Gelato. I used their template and brought it into Affinity to make my own. This way I have a little bit more room to make sure I would be within the margins. I created a new canvas in Procreate and used the template to add in my images, then exported them as JPEGs. The next step is adding them to the grid template for the calendar. I also made this grid in Affinity on the desktop. I saved my calendar grid as a template. I opened it from my home screen, and in the template I went to File, Place, and chose my image. So when I did this, the image ended up in the wrong place at the top of the grid. So I deleted it and went back to the bottom layer and then placed the image again. This placed it in a new layer just above the bottom of the template. I resized the image to fit the grid. I wanted to make sure the calendar image fit above the days of the week on the grid and has enough space. I did make sure the background color on the template is the same as the image from Procreate. There shouldn't be a color difference when it's printed. I zoomed into the grid to get the dates updated. This calendar is for July 2027, and I used my planner to make sure I have the dates correct. I'm not adding any holidays to this calendar, just the dates. I double-click on the numbers and delete the ones I don't need and change the others. I don't need this last week grid on the bottom of the calendar, so I deleted the numbers, then went to the grid group in Affinity and deleted the row. I zoomed back out and hid the layer with the green border. I'm looking for color differences and to make sure the picture is a good distance from the top and the days of the week on the grid. I'm saving the calendar pages by month, so I'll be able to find them easily when I upload them to Gelato. I'm going to open the template again so I can create the cover for the calendar. I go to Place and choose the image I created in Procreate. This time I moved it to the top layer because I don't need the grid for the cover. I checked my placement and the size to make sure that it's right, and I saved the file, and now it's ready to be exported. I'll finish documenting this process next week in part 2. I'll export the calendar grid images as JPEGs, then I'll upload them to Gelato and order my test print. I'll also connect Gelato to my Etsy shop. Thank you so much for watching. I try to have new videos available every Friday. Thank you again, and remember that every big project starts with something small.